Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Musically Malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. Okay, we've done a couple of REN videos up to this point. We did the entire tale after I jumped into the deep end on part 6 of 7 and watched Vincent and Richard. Looking forward to the release here as of this video recording, in just a couple of days of the 7th part of that tale. But after I kind of jumped in on the deep end and you guys in the comments helped me out a little bit, I went back and created a video of the entire tale up to that point with the Instagram stories and things as well. And then we watched High REN, but you guys had also just recommended watching this video, 1 million subscribers. This is from 2.5 years ago. So congratulations to REN, who's at 2.5 million subscribers now. But I am interested in seeing some other things, just getting to know REN as a person. And so I've seen some other videos out there. I plan to do some of his longer interviews as well. But, oh, and the other thing is, yes, that I am still planning and working on the full REN deep dive, where I'll actually be going through all of his albums, as well as obviously the videos. And I'm kind of working on figuring out the best things to put out here on YouTube. Most of his videos will probably be out here, but I'm trying to find some interesting things to put over on Patreon as well, just to continue to foster that community over there. But all that being said, why don't I show you guys this while we're here? Hold on. Oh, great. This is what now I got to catch my camera back. Hold on. Hey, guy. Hey, buddy. Hey, where you at? Hey, follow me to the face. Follow, right there. All right, there we go. Okay, so I have actually ordered all of REN's vinyls. Most all of them I was able to get from his website, but there was one I had to get somewhere else, and that is this guy. Wait, this guy. The Sick Boy Deluxe album. So why don't we do show and tell for a moment, and then especially because this video from him is fairly short. So this is really cool the way that it's done, and I don't even fully know everything in here. But each vinyl is kind of broken up into this little case file. So you have REN Gill, and here I'll take a couple of them out. The middle one's just completely clear, but these ones are pretty neat. So this one is this kind of like black, misty color, which I thought was really neat. I got to clean them still. You can see some of the shavings, and they've got like these x-rays in the middle. Hey, look, there's REN. Hey, REN. You can see him on my screen there. Okay, so there's that one, and then slide this back in. Then there's Patient 1, Jimmy. Pretty neat. And then the last one is Pigman. And you can see, I guess it has which ones are on there. The Pigman one, and then this will be it. We'll get into the video. Is this like, oh wow, I didn't even know that was there. Yeah, they definitely need cleaning. But it's also this like bloodish red color. So I haven't been able to listen to them yet because I don't listen to them until I actually listen to them. So once I actually get through the Sick Boy album, I'll be able to put these guys on. Okay. Let me Un momento, por favor. Okay. We'll just set this down here for now. All that being said, I am in on REN. And so look forward to being able to drop and go through his entire albums and all the things. But until then, we'll keep doing some things like this, and hopefully I'll have a date for you soon on when we'll actually start that journey. Okay, time to get in. Let's learn a little bit more about REN as a person. This is 1 million subscribers, defining success.
I want to keep this short and sweet because I wrote something that I want to share with you. But first of all, I just want to say how grateful I am. I've reached 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which is a flipping huge milestone. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who supported my music over the years, whether you're newly on board or have been here for a while.
It's me.
I wanted to say thank you to the YouTube reaction community who have gotten behind my stuff in a big way and really helped me reach this goal. So thank you guys. Yeah, I wanted to read this passage that I wrote about success. It's too much for me to remember right now, so bear with me. But yeah, success to me means that I have a responsibility that transcends me. If I have a platform where people are paying attention, then I feel like it's my duty to make that count. It's far more important than my aspirations with music and what I could personally gain. There's a saying that stuck with me recently, which was a rising tide lifts all ships. Somehow, by finding success for myself has meant that I can find success for the people around me. And that makes me feel very rich. I'm in a very strange position right now where I owe much of my...
I love that he said that makes me feel really rich. I think that I think using that word is really important. And you can see this obviously from the things that REN shares. And if there's anything that a human being can fight for, obviously there's a number of things we can list. But one of the things even in my own life that I fought for by God's grace is to be a genuine person. For better or for worse, hopefully generally for the better, is just that you're not going to get two sides to me. You're not. Now, there is a difference between, like, obviously you act differently at a funeral than you do at a wedding. So it's not that we don't adjust for environments, but I'm not a different person. I'm not going to put a front on and act one way or treat people one way when I'm in one situation versus another. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are really good at deceiving others. But I feel like for the most part, real recognizes real. And that's what has resonated so much from REN. And he would be the first person to say that he's far from a perfect person. I'm sure he gets frustrated that even some of the things that he might talk about, he still wars against in his own life. But in all of that, there is this genuine nature of a person who loves others. And I just love that he used that word rich, because I think it's important. I think it backs up his message. He could say it makes me feel really good, makes me feel really happy, but it makes him feel rich, which in contrast to him continuing to succeed and possible, greater opportunities for financial increase, financial wealth, financial opportunity, to keep that core of him knowing what it truly means to be rich. That if you have all the money, but your relationships are nothing, you don't have people around you who love you that you can trust, you don't have something you're passionate about, you're broke, man. You're rich and broke.
And that makes me feel very rich. I'm in a very strange position right now where I owe much of my success to the most destructive force in my life, which has been the turbulence of my physical and mental illness. The thing that has by far brought me the most pain has been a source of constant inspiration, which ironically led to creations which brought me the most joy.
Wow.
Creating art which means something to somebody else and can potentially be a companion to somebody else in the dark justifies my own pain. And I desperately needed that to be justified.
Wow.
There are a lot of people alive today who live in the dark. It's a place that I'm very familiar with. In the peak of my health problems, I was severely underweight. All my meals had to be restricted and blended, and I was so tired that I couldn't participate in life. I couldn't socialize, I couldn't watch films, I couldn't read. My bones constantly hurt. Even standing in the shower was excruciating and exhausting. And this
I can only imagine, dude, and he's about to obviously share how long that went on, but pretty much the only times I've got sick in the last few years, it happens a couple of times a year, once, maybe twice. When I get sick, I get COVID. And it's the strangest thing, because I used to kind of look forward to sick days to some extent, because it's like, okay, it's like permission to chill, and you still kind of have to fight off the like, oh my gosh, there's things I need to do, things I want to do, but at least it's just like there's not an expectation for the most part from people around you. But then when I get sick and I get COVID, I don't want to do anything. I don't like watching movies. I don't like playing video games. Even laying in bed begins to become painful. And it's just like, I need to get out of this, because then all of a sudden, like, the stuff starts hitting your brain that you're like, oh my gosh, my life is falling apart. There's so many things I need to do. Oh, this isn't going well. And I just have to remind myself, like, dude, you just don't feel good. Okay? You'll be back up in a couple of days and everything's going to be fine. But to like multiply probably the pain and the dismal outlook on like, there's no guarantee of when this is going to end, if this is going to end. On top of that, probably the financial strain of trying to seek help. Man, I just makes my heart go out for him big time.
My bones constantly hurt. Even standing in the shower was excruciating and exhausting. And this went on for years, with no answers. Nobody could have ever convinced me during that time that my pain and suffering would be a source for something good, because it felt insidious. Nobody could have ever convinced me that something constructive can come from hurting every day. But I'm here to tell you that if you are hurting every day, don't be afraid. One thing I know to be a constant law of the universe, is that life is inconsistent.
Law of the universe.
Life is beautiful and life is hideous. Life is kind and life is cruel. Dancing inside this dichotomy and inconsistency makes me know that you won't hurt forever. Whether that comes from resolution of what you're going through or acceptance of where you are, you won't hurt forever. You don't know yet whether or not your pain conceals gold. It definitely conceals wisdom, and it's definitely a catalyst for filling you with empathy. So stand strong, my friends, and don't let the darkness consume you, because once you know the dark and become intimate with it, you become very capable of wielding the light.
Dude, and I do love, like, he's trying to balance this encouragement without false hope, because we don't know. And man, I have seen people walk through some really, really terrible things. You know, I won't get into it much here, but last year over a few years, and it came to a close last year, we watched a very close friend be diagnosed with ALS, and we had no idea what was going on at first. And I've shared that story in other videos, you know, but a woman that's my age, 30, about to turn 37, their family in the very similar stage of life, you know, several kids, oldest teenager, youngest still, you know, small and sweet. And she went from, you know, just being an incredibly strong person, just physically, and then a limp, and then crutches, and then a wheelchair, and then being carried, and then being on a breathing machine. And my wife and I were there, you know, the last day that she was alive, sitting at her bed as her father held her hand and she passed away. And so it's always a challenging thing, man, towing that line between encouragement, but also having to set realistic expectations for people. And I love how he's towing that line very well. And sometimes it is the words that he's sharing that people need as well to find the strength to keep fighting, that will lead them on to victory or to a place of peace, or, you know, whatever it is. Because there's just something powerful, you know, in the mind and in the heart that when you give up all hope, that there's sometimes a physiological response to that, versus somebody giving you that next wind to keep fighting and keep pushing, or that moment of joy, or that moment of recognizing someone sees you or can relate, to where you are, that people need, that can, be that step up.
And become intimate with it, you become very capable of wielding the light. You could be instrumental for changing this world for the better. There's nothing humble about shrinking or doubting yourself because you are large. You can be ferocious and you could be magnificent. For the medical industry, who too often let people fall through the cracks, it's your duty to do better. For the people living in the light, who have either stepped out of their shadow or have never had to walk beside it, it's your responsibility to put out untainted love. Our own greed, desire to ferociously expand, and decisions rooted in self-interest can benefit ourselves in a material sense, but can be very destructive to the hive and the world around us, ultimately hurting ourselves. So we really must consider that if we're going to step into a bright future. As humans, we have an incredible potential, and it would be a shame to throw it away. So community, humanity, and changing our relationship with the natural world so it leans more towards homeostasis must be a priority number one. If you're watching this and there's a knot tied up in your stomach with bitterness, anger, or hatred for your fellow human being, be with it, feel it, understand it, express it, and then let it go. You're hurting. Give yourself love, forgive yourself, and then project that love outwards, and the anger will pass. We have a decision in every interaction to tilt the world towards heaven or hell, towards Jannah or Jahannam, utopia or dystopia, and some people's ideas of heaven will be another's image of hell. So tread carefully, but treat those differences with respect. Tapestries are made beautiful because of the variety in the sum of their parts. Thank you to 1 million people inside this rich tapestry for the opportunity for me to try and spread my own vision of what I believe to be good. And thank you for justifying my pain. Thank you. I love you.
Wow, dude. What a great thing to take your 1 million subscriber video and use it to share important messages, because the eyeballs are on you and you get a chance to sincerely, no music, although there for a second you could tell he started getting his hand up and he started like embodying what he does when he like is sharing a message through a song or a rap. But there were a few things he said when he talked about humility. And it is, I think, important to understand the difference between humility and false humility. That you can be confident and humble. False humility is pride. It's a crazy thing. To know what you have to offer and yet to kind of like be like, oh, not me, is in a way for asking for people to be like, oh no, but you're the greatest. That's a false humility that masks as pride. Versus recognizing, no, I'm really good at this, or no, I can do this really well, or I have something to offer, and saying that, but from a place of humility, that you're not out to get everybody to think you're the greatest, you just want to contribute to the work. Or that you can help whatever cause it is, whatever business it is, and just saying, no, I really think I have something to offer here. That can carry with it humility. It's really more about the intent of what you're trying to accomplish. If it's trying to just get eyeballs on you, then yeah, that's prideful. But if it's that you really just want to engage and be helpful, that's humble. And false humility is gross. The other thing is I love that he did call out some of the corruption that exists within medical systems and pharmaceutical industries and all of that. I think he was speaking to kind of all of that in one, but he wasn't really hateful and it really wasn't long. He was just saying, the same way that he called others to responsibility. I love that, because he wasn't just saying like, you all suck, you're all trash, burn it down. I think he recognizes there are people out there in the healthcare industry that do really care and that really want to help, but often those people are sidelined while profit takes the front. And to turn people's sicknesses and weaknesses into your ATM, it's so gross, man. It's so broken. But yeah, I mean, I'm getting a little bit more and more knowledge around some of what REN has walked through. You guys have helped me with that too. And one comment I think I saw that stood out to me the most on one of the videos was, the thing that gets me most excited about seeing a new REN drop is knowing that he's healthy enough to keep creating. And I think that that's awesome. So, wow. Yeah, I'm finding myself enriched by REN, by his perspectives. And I agree with him too. It's challenging, and sometimes it takes space and time away from the pain to see it clearly. And I don't think he would wish pain upon anybody, but if it has found you, your greatest struggles can become your greatest ministries. Your greatest failures can become something that can offer wisdom and strength to others. And so, awesome. Well, I think the next thing I'm going to get into from REN is the Money Game series. And I know you guys have told me like to make sure I watched it in, obviously not the order 1, 2, 3, but that number 2 is the lyric video, is what you guys had recommended. So that'll probably be the next thing that comes out. And until then, I think that'll be the next thing that comes out. But then on the 29th, just in a couple of days, we get the other part of the story. So that'll be coming out too. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being with me for this one. If you want to check out any of the other REN videos that I've done, I'll go ahead and throw those up over here. Feel free to check them out, and feel free to check out anything else on the channel. See if it might interest you. Thanks for being with me for this one. I hope to see you in the next one. We're eating good.